All right. I started a little early. I'm just gonna get I'm just gonna post on Instagram again, spread the word, and stuff like that. I didn't mean to start early. I just it's better to start early than later, I guess. Hey, so yeah. So let's just post this on. I had a story on Instagram and Facebook that should tell people that we're going live, and I will just say that we're going live now. I won't say that it's starting at 8 because I started live. So yeah, I'm looking at myself on the phone. Ooh, 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 ooh. Here, you know what? I'll videotape it. I'll videotape it. All right, let's see. Let's see. Do I know how to work this damn thing? Oh, okay, I do. All right. Wait, how do I video? Okay, this is really. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so I'm live now, guys. I know I started a little early, but yeah, hop onto my stream right now. Right now. I'm live now. Okay. And share. All right, let's start. Okay. All right, so we don't have anybody coming in yet. We'll wait. Oh, wait, we got one person watching. Oh, we have a 0 person watching. I hate when it does that because it doesn't show, like, it goes back and forth. I sometimes wonder if that's accurate, honestly. So, all right. Okay, 7:58. Oh wow, I did start like a little early. All right, Tyler's in. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah. All right, it's honestly like preparing for a class. Like right before class starts, you come in a little, like the teacher comes in a little early, getting ready to prepare and all that stuff, and waiting for everybody to just come in, and then once class starts, at the time you settle in. So I guess I'll be the teacher today and be like that. Yeah. All right. We got Tyler and Ryan again. All right. Welcome, boys. Okay. All right. This is happening. All right. It's 7:59. All right. Let's go. What's going on, guys? So what's popping, my dudes? All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, my hair is like so long. I know we're in quarantine. I know, like, with all this stuff, but like I would love to get a haircut soon because like it's been like since the end of December since I got a haircut. I haven't got a haircut since 2020. Wow. I know my life is sad. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. This is cool. All right. It's great that you guys are already on. I mean, it's great that like you guys are all I need right now for the live stream because it's like you guys help this make it fun right now. So it's like yeah, and hopefully we'll have a few more people on. Maybe we'll have a few other guys on. Let's see. All right. 7:59. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, it's not Brian. That's Ryan. But there is a Brian. Yeah. No. What have I been listening to, Tom? Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be the discussion for today. I've thought, with these live streams, I'm gonna be talking about of what I've been listening to lately. So yeah, let's see. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. All right, let's begin. So what's going on, guys? This is Radigan from Radigan's Corner, and welcome to this quarantine live stream. We are still in quarantine. It is like, I believe, almost like the 70th day and all that stuff. So yeah, like, so all right, so some of the questions that you were asking. So like Ryan, you asked, what have I been listening to? So basically what I've been listening to this week is see, what I've been doing honestly through this quarantine is because I'm finishing up because finals are coming in and out and stuff like that, and I have finals, and this weekend I'm pretty much gonna be able to finish my finals and all that stuff. So I've been going back and forth, like doing like some exercises, walking and running, and when I do that I put on some music, and the music basically I've been listening to, not that I meant to, but I kept listening to it, was some George Harrison music from his solo career, and Ringo too. Like I've been listening to a lot of solo stuff from John, Paul, and George and Ringo. Like even today, I was listening to some John and George and Paul stuff. I definitely like want to listen to more of like the albums and stuff like that because it's funny. I have them on vinyl and stuff like that, but I don't have it on they have the albums on the streaming services. But the thing is, like with All Things Must Pass, it's not the same like the way you have it on the original record. Like they have a lot of bonus features that's in the middle, and they mess up with the track order. And the 2 Ringo albums that he's most known for for is Ringo and Goodnight Vienna. That's not on like any like of the not on Amazon Music, so I don't know if it's on any other streaming service. But yeah, but the songs I've been listening to from my George are songs from actually not just from All Things Must Pass. I mean, I have been listening to some stuff from All Things Must Pass, but like one album I've been listening to some songs from that I really like is 33 and a Third. I don't know if you guys know that album. That's a really good album. And yeah, it's got great songs on it like Cracker Box Palace, this song, which actually this song is actually a funny song because it's very humorous and it's a very like upbeat song, and it was about the My Sweet Lord copyright, because if you guys know about the whole thing, how George was apparently copyrighted for My Sweet Lord because it sounded like the Chiffon song in the early 60s, He's So Fine. And now if I've listened to it and it does sound like a little similar, but you know, there's totally different stuff in it. It's like it's not completely ripping off. I mean, yeah, there is some similar stuff with it, but like for instance, like the slide guitar, like the famous slide guitar riff. I mean, that's not from the Chiffon song. I mean, not at all. But yeah, no. So this song is a parody of pretty much about the whole how like the copyright system kind of stuff with that song is like kind of like messed up and all that. So it's really funny. It's really it's a really funny song. And the video, if you haven't seen it, like I was looking at that, it's a really funny video. And it's got Ronnie Wood from the Rolling Stones in it. And the voice in this song, like there's like a sequence where there's like a voiceover dub, and like that's Eric Idle from Monty Python, because George and Eric Idle were really good friends. And yeah, and the judge is actually one of George's drummers, Jim Keltner, which it's funny because like I like was looking at the judge and I was like, who is that guy? I mean, he looks so familiar. I'm like, is that Phil Spector? And then I realized like, oh no, it's Jim Keltner, because I looked it up, because I had to think, because I thought it was Phil Spector at first because it kind of looked like Phil Spector. But yeah, no, oh yeah, underrated. Yeah, no, I feel like it's so underrated because it's like it's so funny. I've been interested in George Harrison's solo stuff a little bit more lately, especially from this YouTuber I watched, JT Curtis, and he's going over all the George Harrison solo stuff. And like, of course, like the best ones that it seems like from what I've always known is, of course, like All Things Must Pass, Living in the Material World, Cloud Nine, his last album that he was alive for, and of course 33 and a Third, because it's like like the songs are great. I mean, Cracker Box Palace is a good song. I think what's the thing about that album is it's a fun record to listen to. It's not like, it's not like, so, I mean, it's not as like, kind of, if you say like, it's not like, as maybe, established as All Things Must Pass with songs, but it's like it's fun, quirky songs. It's a humorous record, and it's like it was made for it. Was like the album served its purpose, and that's what I feel, with that, So yeah, it sounds more original than Surfing USA, even though I love that song. Oh yeah, Surfing USA, right? We should talk about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, you were saying this was one of the stupidest lawsuits in music history. Yeah, actually, I have a few other music lawsuits that I find really stupid that I'll talk about. Well, let's talk about the Surfing USA one first. So yeah, Surfing USA, of course, by the Beach Boys. Now, of course, probably you guys know about some of you might know if you're into like the 50s rock and stuff like that. That like with Chuck Berry, it's like Surfing USA has a lot of similarities to Sweet Little 16. Chuck Berry. So yeah, like. And the funniest thing was like when I was like, looking up who wrote songs and when I was interested in that, I saw like Chuck Berry. I was like, wow, the Beach Boys wrote stuff with Chuck Berry that early on. I mean, like really, like wow. And then I found out that no, it was because of there was like a whole copyright lawsuit with that stuff. So yeah, and like no, it does sound too similar. And Brian Willis, I think, does claim that like when he was writing the song, like Sweet Little 16 was in his head. So it was like so it was kind of like like they kind of were honestly ripping Chuck Berry off in that sense. Because I mean, it's not completely. I mean, like no, it's definitely the same melody and stuff like that. But it's like there are differences in it. It's not completely like a knockoff. It's not completely, and stuff like that. I mean, of course, there's always going to be some songs that sound, similar to others without even thinking about it. Because it's like, for me, like there are some songs that I listen to and it sounds similar, and think about it, but like you think it sounds similar, but you really don't know until like it just comes in the back of your mind. Maybe, oh, that reminds me of that song, and then you realize like years later, oh, that person was going for that kind of influence. Like for two stories about that, another Beach Boys song is the Beach Boys song in the '80s, "Get You Back." Like for some reason, when I was like, like when you listen to a song, you think of you're hearing it, and then you're thinking of a lyric from another song. So like when I was listening to "Get You Back," I was thinking of Bruce Springsteen's "Hungry Heart," and apparently, I looked up and it said Bruce Springsteen, like it was a similarity to Bruce Springsteen's "Hungry Heart." Everybody's got a hungry heart, and so yeah, so no, that was yeah. So that was that. Yeah. If it came down to it, I would pick Chuck. Nothing against the Beach Boys. Yeah, I know. No. I think they're both two great songs. I don't consider them. I think they're total. Of course. The thing with the Beach Boys is like, yeah, like in the beginning, like their songs did have similarities to too much like Chuck Berry stuff, the Four Freshmen, Phil Spector. They did, have copy a lot of early style sounds and stuff like that, and of course they elevated into original stuff, and of course that's with Brian Wilson, you got to thank him for that, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, yeah. So another copyright thing like that, like a lawsuit that I remember that I think is really stupid is Creedence Clearwater Revival, like with John Fogerty. John Fogerty in the '80s put out his album Center Field. Now, this was a while since he put out an album because, he had a lot of tensions with the band and the record label Fantasy Records. Like his label was really giving him a hard time. He really was in like a whole depression and like he just really didn't want to make music. He didn't want to play Creedence song again. So the song that he's most famous for on the album is The Old Man Is Down the Road. That's like one of his most notable songs on the album. And in the album and in the song, apparently it sound like Fantasy and the rest of the band members from Creedence said like you should sue John because it sounds too much like a Creedence song, like Run, because they thought it sounded too much like Run Through the Jungle. Now the ridiculous thing is because John Fogerty wrote Run Through the Jungle. He was the only one who wrote it. So it's John copying John. That was it. So it's a really stupid lawsuit. And, thankfully John won. Like he played it in court and showed the differences because there is differences. It's not completely similar, but it's like he was copying him. He was doing himself. It's not like he was like doing his own. He was doing the same stuff that he's been doing. It's his sound, It's like that's the thing too. It's like these guys, like, not to discredit like, that they did not, that the rest of the guys did nothing. Cause yeah, like, like Doug Clifford played drums, Stu Cook played bass. And, of course, Tom Fogerty, did play rhythm guitar, even though like, there are complaints that like you can't even hear his guitar that much. And really, you sometimes really can't tell how much effort they all put into it. But yeah, no, they were a band, but like, of course, John was the one that carried the weight of all of them. So yeah, no, it's no, surprise that like no it's like it's definitely like no surprise that like definitely it like John, it's John's sound, and like even though they say Creedence songs, it's a really John Fogerty song, and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Okay, nothing. Yeah. Do you have Spotify, Tom? If so, do you make playlists? I would love to follow them if you do. No, I don't go on Spotify. I'm an Amazon Music guy. I do. It's so funny. I gotta find a way to make a public on the playlist. I should start making playlists on Amazon and just do that, like, and see how that works and stuff like that. I started actually. It's funny. Before I really started making videos, I started out by doing playlists, and the playlist I love running actually like this. The playlist I did was like Elvis playlists. I did like ones from like the 50s. I called it like the Golden Collect. I think I called it. I forget what I called it. I didn't call it the same thing that the record, that like the compilation record, Golden Collection. I think I called it something else, but like I forget where it is. It's under my name, Thomas Radigan, if you look it up. And yeah, I did on YouTube, and I just did like songs from like the early 50s to like I was just trying to like I put it in like 3 categories, like from the Sun Records to like like from 1956, and then like songs from like 1956 like 57 and stuff like that. And yeah, no, I totally no, like should definitely. I mean, no, like I like yeah, like because I'm just not like not a Spotify person because I the one thing I like about Amazon Music is because like it's like you can listen to any song you want. You don't have to like you can listen to any albums and stuff like that. I felt like when I had Spotify, this was like 5 years ago, and listen, it might have changed and stuff like that. But it was like like there was like the ads and stuff like that. At least at Amazon, there's no ads. I mean, of course, you might have to pay like a few dollars extra and stuff like that. But yeah, but no, I mean like I know like some people love Spotify. I just like like whenever I tried it, it was just not like my thing. Well, the one thing I really don't like though is Pandora. Like I tried that and I just like like that was just I hated Pandora. Okay, let's see. Whole lot of love and loss. You remember that? Oh yeah, I have somewhat of that, like with somewhat memory of that with Led Zeppelin. Because that's the thing with Led Zeppelin. Even though they were a great rock band, and a lot of their early blues songs, and stuff, songs are like rip-offs of old blues songs. And the thing was, with most groups, at least they would somewhat credit them. Led Zeppelin did apparently a terrible job at crediting these people. And and the recent Stairway lawsuit. Wait, what was the recent Stairway lawsuit? They had to rip off because that seems like that was an really original song. Oh yes, how can I forget that? Lo, you can make a YouTube playlist. I made a concept playlist. Oh yeah. I mean, no, maybe I could though. Maybe I'd totally go back to doing a playlist to see, like for fun and for kicks. But the Stairway to Heaven lawsuit, huh? That's interesting. I mean, like, because like I would think like that would be more original because it's like even though like of course, they are known for like their blues stuff. That really wasn't that much of a blues. It was more of like it sounded like their more original stuff. I mean, I know their album, I think House of Holies was their first album that had every song that was just written by them, and it was like no like covers on that. Well, not accordingly. I mean, it's possible maybe they were ripping off somebody that who knows. Like no. So with that, like no, but yeah. So those are like the losses that I was thinking of with that, and So what do I want to talk about? All right, so I talked about what I was listening to, so I got that part out of the way. All right, let's see. What's the other thing that I'm going to talk about? Oh, yeah. So, like, because with all the stuff with finals and all that stuff, so what's basically been happening with that is just like this is my last week, and pretty much I'll be done like by this weekend. Honestly, I'm pretty much like I only have like one more final for next week, and the one class I have is the history of rock class, and my history of rock class is no like I like it because I mean the one thing is like I do know, like, I mean, like, I do love rock so much, so it's like, there's certain stuff I know. I mean, it is interesting to find out stuff that, like, I wouldn't really necessarily, know, like, wouldn't necessarily, think about in a rock and roll class, or, like, like, get a new perspective at least, and stuff like that. Because, I mean, the thing with rock and roll, I've been studying that since probably, like, since I was, like, in middle school, that's when I really studied it and stuff like that, and became, like, a really, like rock historian, I feel like, and tried to really figure out anything I can get my hands on with, stuff about Elvis, Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and stuff like that. But no, I mean, like, no, the class is good. Like, there are some stuff I definitely didn't learn, especially more about like 12-bar blues, which I still have a little hard time, understanding the whole part of it because it's like, whole chord progression. And because honestly, I'm not a musician, so I'm not like, but yeah, no. So I've been doing these. We have to do these portfolios. So I've been doing it. So we had to do 15 portfolios on music artists. So the artists I've been doing were I did Elvis. I did a portfolio on Elvis, Buddy Holly, the Four Seasons, Beach Boys, Cream, Grateful Dead, Cream's Clearwater Revival. I did all these solo stuff of John, Paul, George, and Ringo because I didn't do the Beatles because like my teacher didn't want us to do the Beatles because like she showed us like, an example of the Beatles, and so yeah, I didn't do that. I just did their solo stuff because I thought that'd be good to talk about and stuff like that, and also I'm working on the other ones now, so like Elton John, Billy Joel, Queen, and I did the one on the Police, but I'm gonna put that as the last because I'm trying to put them all in order and stuff like that because I'm trying to order it like in like when who was formed and like which time and stuff like that. Now I'm getting like really nerdy with this stuff, but it's like for instance, like I put Cream before Grateful Dead, even though Grateful Dead technically started in 1965 and Cream started in 1966. Cream technically had more albums out before Grateful Dead because their first album came out in 1966 and the Grateful Dead's album came out in 67. So I thought Cream should probably go first. I thought like, maybe, and then Grateful Dead. So it's like like that. All right, let's see. Zepp was being sued because apparently the intro of the song sounds similar to the opening of Taurus by a band named Spirit. Huh, I never heard of them. Like My Sweet Lord is different. People look too far into things. Well, every idea comes from somewhere. It's only how original and new you can make it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's true. It's like everybody's gonna get like like you're gonna get inspiration from somewhere in your life, and stuff like that. And but like it is, yeah, it's like what you said, and it's like I've been saying this too. It's how you make it original because it's like you can be original with an idea. When people say, "Oh, it's a ripoff," if you do that, like no, you can be an original. You can be original with the story you have. It's like with movies, and stuff like that. With the whole Disney stuff, yes, these stories were already out, and they're thinking they're just complete remakes. They're not remakes because the one thing is they're putting original ideas and adding more stuff to it. Like they're adding more to the story. That's being original because you're adding more stuff to a story. So like I mean, listen, and a whole original thing could be like if you're thinking like a whole original thing is you need to come up with names and you need to come up with a whole fictionalized town. That's not it. There are like genres of being original. There are different sorts of it. All right, let's see. Have you ever seen King Creole, Tom? Oh yeah, Elvis's greatest film. It was just released on Blu-ray, and boy, does it look great! Such a fantastic film. He was tremendous actor, directed by Michael Curtis too. Oh right, yeah, because the guy who directed was the guy who directed Casablanca, and yeah, no, King Creole. I have seen that movie. Yeah, it's been a long time ago since I've seen it, and that was actually really. I actually always loved it, and yeah, Elvis always said it was like his favorite film because I think that was like the one film that it was like he really felt like he acted in it, even though he had to do all these musical stuff and stuff like that. That film, like he felt I think he felt like he could show off his acting, because originally I'll admit the 60s, his 60s period with all the movies were they weren't really there weren't a lot of memorable movies. I mean, there are some good 60s films that he did, but not like a lot. I mean, most it's hard. They're not as entertaining or as fun. Like the songs, he didn't even like the movies or the songs. But for instance, with the 50s movies, at least he was still upset because it's he wanted to just act. He didn't want to sing in that. He wanted to separate the music from his movies. But Love Me Tender worked. It only had a few songs in it. He did love Me Tender. He thought that was a beautiful song. But I think he said that he didn't like the few songs they added. We're Gonna Move, Poor Boy, Let Me In. Even though those songs are pretty good. Let Me and Let Me, those songs are pretty good. But it's just and also with Loving You and Jailhouse Rock are also great movies as well. And I always love them. I mean, those are the four favorite Elvis movies of mine, of course, are the original ones he did: Love Me Tender, Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, King Creole. Although GI Blues, I haven't seen all the way through, but GI Blues is for the most part an okay movie. It's an entertaining. All right, let's see. Zepp won the lawsuit, I should mention. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. That seems like a little more there because it seems like it's like similar to My Sweet Lord. It's not totally, I feel rip off a blues thing because I don't think that band was, I don't know what that band Blues. But yeah, originally King Creole was going to star James Dean as a boxer in the Yeah, I was gonna mention that. They were originally gonna come up. They thought that'd be a good role for James Dean, but of course he died and stuff like that. I would put Jailhouse Rock on close to the same level, in my opinion. Yeah, another great dramatic role. Not to mention the iconic Jailhouse Rock score. Oh yeah, Jailhouse Rock is just one of his best films too. There's no question about that. I love that film. I mean, there's just so much. I mean, it's it's a dark film too. I mean, it's really dark in the beginning and stuff like that, and it's honestly kind of sad in the sense too. But it's it's a cool type of it's a different type of success story from a person and stuff like that. And the Jailhouse Rock scene, I mean, that is the best scene of it all. I remember when I watched that, when I first found that on YouTube, and I actually saw it in color. They had it colorized, and I was and I feel when people talk about music videos, nobody talks about, if you think about it, that was the first music video, if you think about it. That would totally be a music video, if you think about it. There's I feel that could be considered. Everybody wonders what the first music video is. I could consider that probably the first music video, because it's totally something that you could see that maybe somebody would have done on MTV. Who knows, Let's see. GI Blues is a very fun film too. Oh yeah, GI Blues is just good. I mean, I love GI Blues, the song. I like Frankfurt Special, Shopping Around. Did You Ever? I like that. But one of my favorite ones, I think songs from the movie is the one he does with Juliet Prowse, Pocket Full of Rainbows. I think that's a really great one. Like it's such a great duet too. And but I think like when it was recorded or something in the studio, it's just Elvis and stuff like that. I noticed when my mom was watching Jerry Maguire, that song they used that song. All right, let's see. Let's look at the comments. I just think a part of the music sequence and Elvis playing a bad boy. It's a pretty generic film. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see. Oh, that's the reason why you said it, right? Okay. I thought Jailhouse Rock was overrated. This is the Elvis film to say. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I see what you're saying, Tyler, because it's like, I mean, like, it was like, it did. But the one thing, it's like, it did represent, like, because people. Like the movie kind of like represented what people thought he was, like a bad boy and stuff like that. But that really wasn't the case if you really saw his image. I mean, like people did, of course, think he was the sex symbol who was very wild, but he wasn't really that like bad and stuff like that. Like the bad boy, especially if you're talking about like later on, like when you have groups like the Rolling Stones and the Who. I mean, like really no, like he was like honestly like the good boy if you think about it, like almost like with the Beatles, and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I just think a part of the music sequence and Elvis playing a bad boy is a pretty okay. Yeah, I got that part. There are a ton of instant, especially in the '60s, where Elvis' aptitude as an actor was on full display with films such as Flaming Star, Wild and Country, Kill Galahad, Change of Hat. Well, it's so funny. Like for instance, like Wild and Country. I've never seen it, but I know that that's like another movie that was like kind of considered like where he actually acted in it and stuff like that. And of course Flaming Star, because Flaming Star only had 2 songs, like the opening song Flaming Star, and I think it had like some birthday song, I think it was called, or something like that. It was no, a Kid Galahad, that was the one that had I think I Got Lucky. I know that song. I don't really know the movie that much, but like the one Elvis movie I really love is Follow That Dream. Like Follow That Dream is a great one. I mean, I think that's a really funny film and it's a really good film. Change of Habit. Like I know that movie because that was his last film. I do honestly have to say though with Change of Habit though is I felt like that was from what I saw like a silly plot in a sense because it's like I see they were trying to go for like a serious film of him being a doctor and all that stuff, but I think the problem is because they had like a lot of music music in that, and not that I'm saying like a doctor can't be musical and stuff like that, but I just feel like it's not really realistic and stuff like that. And like that movie could have worked, I felt like, if it had more of a serious stuff and maybe not so much music in it, But because Colonel Tom Parker said like you have to have music in your movies, that's how it's gonna sell. That like nobody's gonna see an Elvis without music. It was like he could have done so much, honestly, if Colonel Tom Parker didn't hold him back. I mean, that's my opinion, honestly. Flaming Star is underrated in terms of Elvis. I really have to see the movie all the way through, Flaming Star. In films such as Paradise, Hawaiian Style, and Harem Scarum, I always pass on. Oh yeah, Harem Scarum I always knew was not that. Yeah, well, Paradise, the Hawaiian Style, I think what was that, like the mid '60s? Yeah, Follow That Dream was great. Oh yeah, Follow That Dream was good. Yeah, I mean that's just such a I mean, and like the thing too is like with that movie is there's not so many songs. There's only like 6 songs. They're like, well, Wonderful Life, I like that. Follow That Dream, of course. I'm Not the Man Kind, I like that. I really like the song Sound Advice, and Angel that was played at the end. I like that, and then there was another one, wasn't there? I forget. I think there was another one. And then All right, let's see. Fun fact: Michael Viagazzo, also known as Frank Pantagula from Godfather 2, wrote part of King Creole's script. Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh wow, that's interesting. Oh. I also think King Creole is the closest a film noir can get to being a musical. Yeah, because the thing, King Creole is definitely, it's definitely, I mean, definitely showed Elvis as an actor, and not that Love Me Tender or Jailhouse Rock didn't, because Love Me Tender especially too, and Love Me Tender might have honestly had one of the darkest endings for an Elvis movie, especially of how Elvis died in the movie, like his character got killed, and and it was just like, I just can't believe, it's just like, and I think, Colonel Todd Parker actually, when that movie, when the movie came out, they were saying like, I mean, Elvis's mom, was like, very, like, Elvis and his mom had a very close connection, and I think it was very hard for his mom to see that, scene of him dying and stuff like that in the movie, and Colonel Todd Parker, I think, realized that like it wouldn't be good to have another movie with Elvis dying in it. So that's why they always kept the Elvis having like the happy endings where he gets the girl and everything's fine and stuff like that. And yeah, so let's see. Yeah, and with King Creole, the music fit. The soundtrack album is a beautiful interpretation of Elvis' style of rock and roll with a touchy blues, New Orleans as well. Oh yeah, Trouble. Yeah, of course, Trouble is great. Yeah, I love Trouble. Yes, and it was his first film. Who would have thought? Yeah. Oh yeah, we love me tender. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, no. Yeah, like King Creole. Like, I think it's a great. And King Creole probably has one of his best opening songs, which is Crawfish, where he just to do it with the lady and stuff like that, and he's sitting on the balcony. I think Crawfish is definitely an underrated Elvis song. And another Elvis song I love from that movie is Lover Doll, when he sings in the record store, when he plays that on guitar. Like, but it's so funny. Like, I like how they do it in the movie. I don't like hearing it unrecorded because it's with the Jordanaires backing vocals. Like, I think it's better with just Elvis himself. Like, not that I don't like. I love the Jordanaires with Elvis, but I just feel like for that song, like, it didn't really pay for that, because I feel like there were some songs where they added the Jordanaires where it honestly they didn't need to. Honestly, I feel like some songs were better with just Elvis in them, and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's funny, like with Hound Dog, for instance. I mean, of course, there's like that solo where like the Jordanaires have a little back and vocals part, but I feel like that's not so much necessary. Not that it doesn't ruin the song or anything, but it's like funny, like, but like you think about it, like when you see the live performance when Elvis played that song in the 50s, like there was no, like, they didn't have backing vocal, they didn't have the Jordanaires perform with that, like he was just doing that himself. Because if you think about it, that's more of a song that he could just do himself, as long as like with JLS Rock. Oh yeah, Kitty Wells. Oh, that Kitty Wells, that was her name. Oh yeah. She was like really well known in like the 50s. Yeah. And yeah. Oh, Dixieland Rock. I love that. Yeah. And yeah, it's so funny. Like when I heard the song Dixieland Rock, when I first heard it, I thought it was something else. I forget what it was. Like, I think it was called Dishes Rock, like Dishes on the Rock. I forget exactly what I thought it was, but yeah, there's like those songs where you think it's like a different title and stuff like that. Because I like no, Dixieland Rock. I love that song. And Hard Headed Woman, of course, is really good. Yeah, I feel the same way with the songs on the GI Blues album. They sound better in the film. Not that they are bad. Yeah, no, like the way like with GI Blues, like for instance, like the songs they had on that were actually pretty good, because I really like that. I mean, no, like I think like I said, my favorite GI Blues song is probably Pocket Full of Rainbows and stuff like that. I think that's a great one. And yeah, like my favorite songs, I'm probably like for instance, like I think Loving You is probably one of Elvis's most underrated movies. I think because it's like, because it's so funny, when I was first getting into Elvis's movies and stuff like that, I thought honestly Loving You and Jailhouse Rock were in the same film, like, because like I knew Teddy Bear came out in '57, so I thought, oh, Teddy Bear was in Jailhouse Rock, and everyone goes, oh no, it's a different part of the movie, it's a different movie. So like no, like I think like Loving You has some great stuff, like Teddy Bear. I mean, Loving You is a great song too. I mean, Teddy Bear is probably one of the best songs and the most notable songs on in the film. And another song I really love is Mean Woman Blues and Got a Lot of Living to Do. And it's so funny, when I first heard he had a song called Got a Lot of Living to Do, the first thing I thought of, because the first thing I knew of that title was in Bye Bye Birdie, Got a Lot of Living to Do. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be cool if he did that and they did that, because the movie is about Elvis, Bye Bye Birdie. Fun fact, there was a scene that was cut from King Creole where Danny Fisher, Elvis, performed Hard Headed Woman. It was cut for some reason, but still features if you listen to quote. Isn't Oh yeah, because like I'm trying to think, isn't a hard-headed isn't a hard-headed woman in the movie? Like when he's at like when he's performing? I thought it is there, yeah. It wasn't in the film, yeah, because I do remember the song, but I don't know if I remember really seeing it. Like I thought I do remember seeing some of him perform it. Like I know, I mean, I know it was a part of the film soundtrack, but I don't like. So it wasn't actually in the film. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, minus. Oh, Oh, yeah. I was gonna talk. Oh, yeah, Frankfurt Special is actually. I love Frankfurt Special. That's actually a really good one. And yeah, and I think that might have been like one of the last movies where his band was actually featured in the movies. You know, because like in like Once at Loving You, like Scotty Moore, Bill Black, and DJ Fontana would appear in the movies and stuff like that. And of course, like Bill Black, left Elvis's group after he went to the army and started his own band called Bill Black's Combo. It, yes, right. As the camera cuts up in on him in King Creole Club, okay. I also thought the song "Danny" would be a great fit for the film. Okay, my name should be yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know what's another great song I think in King Creole that I always love is "As Long as I Have You." I think that's a really beautiful song, and yeah, like I feel like a lot of people will know people will know that song. Of course, like Elvis fans will probably know that song, but like yeah, that's a great song. Yeah. Now wait, Danny. Okay, was Danny like an Elvis song? Was that a song from King Creole or my name should be Will? My name should be Trouble. My name is Misery. Yeah, I'm evil. So don't you mess around me. Yes. Yeah. Okay. It's been such a while since I've seen King Creole. I think it's been about like 7 or 8 years since I've seen this movie. Was Ronnie the female character? Was that the Caroline? What was her name? Caroline Jones or something like that? It was featured on the soundtrack. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that again. Yeah. Let's see. It's the song that Elvis sings describing his character Dan. Yeah, I do remember hearing something like that. Like I thought, like there was like I forget if I remember. Like I think there were some songs on King Creole that I haven't listened to. Like most of the songs I know, like there's certain songs that like you forget. Like I think only certain songs that like, you forget. Like every now and then, maybe like As Long as I Have You or the song New Orleans. Like New Orleans is actually pretty good. Yeah, and yeah. Right, written around his character. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, and no, I mean, no. I mean, it really would have been great to see what it would have been like if Elvis was in a movie where he didn't really sing, and see what he would have done like as an actual actor and stuff like that, and actually maybe even get like because I feel like if he did like an actual movie where he didn't sing, because he definitely did show off his skills as an actor, and like I feel like he could have probably been nominated for an Academy Award. Okay, yeah, it was John's character. Okay, yeah. It's funny with her because she was in I realized after she was in the Addams Family in the 60s, she was in that show. And yeah, no, yeah. And well, I mean, of course I always had a few famous co-stars, like well, of course Anne Margaret was, probably the most famous co-star he had. But he also did, I know, a movie in the late 60s with Nancy Sinatra. And of course Mary Tyler Moore, Change of Habit. Yeah, yeah. Wait, really? There's no singing in Cheryl? I thought every movie he did there was singing. I could have sworn every movie he did there was like I wouldn't think I didn't think there was any movie that he was in that he didn't sing in. I thought every movie he okay, I'm gonna have to look at it now. I'm gonna have to yeah. Wow. There was no singing in that? Wow, I guess yeah, because I thought the thing was that like he had to sing every movie of his because that was like the whole thing of like with the 60s, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought it was called Speedway. Yeah, I thought it was like, yeah. I was gonna say, but I feel like I got the name wrong and stuff like that. Yeah, and was Speedway or was that the one that like where he did the gospel song "Swing Down Sweet Chariot"? Because I know he did that in 1960. I think on his gospel album, the same year as the Elvis Back album. But yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Or at least a song by him. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. No, no. I mean, I just think, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of another '60s Elvis movie I like. I mean, Viva Las Vegas is okay. It's an okay movie. Like for instance, like Girl Happy. That movie. When you watch it for like, you can watch it for like one time and like it, but I feel like it's not a movie you're gonna keep repeatedly watching. It's funny. It's entertaining. I'm not saying that it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's kind of entertaining. Like it's kind of cool. Like it would have been kind of cool if they focused more on like the band that he had. And actually, one of the guys who was in the band in the movie was actually Bing Crosby's son. Yeah, that was Trouble with. Okay, yeah, or at least a song by him. was Trouble with Girl? Wait, so what was Trouble? Oh, Trouble with Girl 16. Oh, okay, that was the one that had Sweet Chariot in it. Okay, yeah, I've been like this since I was just a baby. Oh yeah, yeah, I love that song. First nurse ever rocked my cradle, made me jump for joy. Yeah, that's a good one. And no, they have some really like good songs in that. Like Puppet on a String's okay. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some songs that like I feel like maybe you can. I feel like you can kind of cringe when you listen to them now and stuff like that. But for like the first time, like you listen to them, they're okay. Like I'm trying to think of a really well, no, Viva Las Vegas had some good stuff. Like I do think the Lady Loves Me is a funny song. And yeah, yeah. Well, what's the the one movie I didn't see a little bit of was Live a Little, Love a Little with like when of course had a little less conversation and stuff like that. And that I think that's a great film. And I love that. I love that movie. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. And yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, it's so funny. Like on my channel, I definitely do want to do more, talk about like more 50 stuff as well. Because I really do want to go all over the place in the sense of what I've been wanting to do lately. Because there's like certain arts I want to talk about in the 70s. There's certain stuff I want to talk about from the 60s. So I feel like I'm going to go all over the place and try to capture as much as I can. My goal is this year is to get as many of the artists I've been wanting to talk about out this year and not like wait, like, talk about at least every artist that I want to this year, or mostly every artist in a sense, the majority of it. Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Oh yeah, funny movie for sure. Well, I love in that Live a Little, Love a Little. It's funny because the guy who played Winnie the Pooh, Sterling Holloway, he actually has this funny scene where Elvis comes to the house. And he goes like, "You get out." He goes like, "I haven't finished my French toast yet." Like, yeah, no, it's like that. Like I remember, yeah, because yeah. Oh, the Roustabout soundtrack album I really enjoyed. Oh yeah, in '64. Oh yeah, because the three movies that came out in '64 were Viva Las Vegas. Oh yeah, Roustabout, and also Kissing Cousins. Yeah, when he played two different parts. Yeah. Did you guys ever see the Elvis movie, Elvis Meets Nixon? Because that's a really funny parody. And, like, it's actually the funniest thing about it is, like, I always thought most of the stuff was fiction, but there was actually some stuff, because I thought everything was fiction, Of course, it's a mockumentary, and of course, there's a lot of stuff that's, not true, but, like, well, like, has some truth to it, but, like, they put a spin on it. Like, it's like, for instance, I thought this whole story, like the story was actually true, that his parents were mad at him, like that. Well, his dad and Priscilla were giving him a lecture about how he was spending too much money, and so he went off by himself with no bodyguards. And apparently that was a true story. I thought that was just like a joke and stuff like that. And apparently how he really met Nixon was pretty much like a whole accident and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a really funny. And I mean, of course, the scenes that are definitely fictionalized are the donut scene and the record store scene. The donut scene is funny when he goes in and like he puts out where it goes like that's Elvis Presley, man. And like, Elvis Presley, you crazy? What would he be doing in here? Buying donuts. And he goes like, that's Elvis fucking Presley. And then he goes like, it's you, man. Yeah, Elvis Presley. And then he goes like, I like that diamond ring too. He's like, yeah. And I'm gonna keep it that too. And he puts out the gun and stuff like that. And then he goes like, seriously, how much for donuts, man? No, it's all the house, man. My church. He's like, you sure? I got a 20. And then, I thought it was so fun. That's such a funny scene. And then the record store scene when he talks to this like hippie guy, and he says like, hey, I haven't seen the Elvis record out. That's the way it is. He said, oh, you want that? Elvis is in the back, in the oldie section. He's like, the oldie section? And he's like, yeah, in the back, with Bobby Rydell, Pat Boone, Fabian, and then he puts out the guy going, let me tell you something, you motherfucker. And somebody, and the guy who was owning the record store, he's like, Elvis, don't waste it, man. And then the girl goes like, you're Elvis? You're Elvis Presley? You're so old. It's that's just such a funny movie. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. But a great Elvis parody can be found on an episode of Black Dynamite. Elvis' reasoning for wanting the DA badge was to be able to carry because there was a threat on his life. He told Nixon that he wanted to hear justice. Right. Well, he did technically have that because he definitely was into like police law, and I think there are some stories where he would actually pull people over and he showed off the badge or something like that, where he had like little stories like that, you know. Yeah, the show also had a great Michael Jackson parody. Yeah, it's so funny. I have to think of like there's certain Michael Jackson. There's like one Michael Jackson parody I remember seeing they did with of a Macaulay Culkin parody in I think Living in Color with the Wayans brothers, where like yeah, like where like I think one of them is like yes Michael Jackson, and he goes like I sent your parents to the Bahamas. Hey, like, can I come in? And they just do like the whole Home Alone sketch of him like of Kevin hidden like beating the criminals like Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern's characters. And they did that, and then of course they like do this joke with Michael Jackson, you grab his crotch and all that, yeah. The best MJ parody was in Scary Movie. Oh yeah, because I was with the Wayans Brothers too. So yeah, I gotta yeah, I should probably check that out. Yeah, now yeah, there's so many. Yeah, I try to think of like of course a lot of people say like they think like the best Elvis impersonation. A lot of people will say is probably Andy Kaufman because everybody just thought Andy Kaufman was just really great at it. And the funniest thing is like he really did a good job of playing Elvis because like even though he didn't look like him when he like performed it, like it really did sound like Elvis, and he did a good job. And like Andy Kaufman did talk about how like he really got into Elvis, when he was getting into comedy and stuff like that in his teens and stuff like that. And like it was really at that time, like not like he felt like people weren't like it really like didn't seem like it was cool at that point to listen to Elvis because everybody was listening to the Beatles and all that stuff. So not a lot of people listen to that. So I guess he always thought that people would make fun of him if he said he listened to Elvis and stuff like that. And yeah, and it's so funny. I guess because it's like that's how I guess I always not always felt, but just like because like I always realized like coming into my school and stuff like that, I was like the only guy that was really into like the 50s, 60s stuff like that. Everybody else was into all that rap stuff and stuff like that, and they're still into that. I don't get that, but yeah, the best is in Black Dynamite, but in second in South Park. Okay, yeah. Elvis watched Andy on Carson. Oh yeah. Because like that was on Carson before he died and stuff like that. Yeah. No, well, I know there was actually a story that Elvis actually really did like Johnny Carson, but apparently when like Elvis went through that period when he was really like getting through the end, and of course when he put on some weight and turned 40, there was like the magazine that said fat and 40, and it's really like upsetting and stuff like that, and not really, flattering. And apparently Johnny Carson made a joke saying, "So I hear Elvis is fat and 40," and like Elvis apparently like turned it off and goes like, I never thought that man was funny. And like yeah, that was the joke. People thought he was going to do a bad impersonation for not looking or sounding like, but when he sings, yeah, because that's the thing. Like Andy Kaufman really did do a good job, honestly. Like he really did make it believable. And no, I mean, not a lot of people I feel like can pull off another Elvis impersonation without like, because Andy Kaufman probably would be the best one doing that, honestly. Because I mean, the thing with Elvis too is like it's so hard I feel like to do an impersonation of him because there are so many people that are gonna do hey man, but it's like when they do that, the low voice and stuff like that. That's not like okay, yeah, that's somewhat of Elvis, but it's like You're just talking about the part of like his like low voice, but there's like he had a very like kind of mild voice as well, especially in the 50s that not a lot of people capture now because more people try to capture more of like the Vegas style when he was in the later years like the 70s and stuff like that. But he was Andy Kaufman did a good job with that. Yeah, like I'm really trying to think of like a really good. Like, there's like certain people who I really thought like did a really good Elvis impersonation and stuff like that, besides Andy Kaufman. I did see Jim Carrey do one. There's another guy I'm thinking of who I thought did an okay one, and stuff like that. Yeah, because Jim Carrey did that on and when he performed on Johnny Carson on his first appearance. Yeah, he did that, and no. So that was yeah. No, I mean, it's like no, I mean, like the one thing is, it really is hard nowadays. I feel like to like with this music, with new music out, because we don't really like there's not like as much when you go back to listen to like Elvis and the Beatles, it's like it takes you back. It's like it's music that I feel like is not outdated. 50s music I don't think is outdated in my opinion. Honestly, I feel like this is like Jailhouse Rock, Hound Dog, Johnny Be Good, like these are songs you can listen to like all the time, whenever, it's not going to be outdated. Like, I feel like stuff is only outdated if they're really meant for, if something's really outdated, then it wasn't as good as it could be, because like stuff has to be like when you're creating something, like whether it's 100 years ago or something like that, like you're not thinking that it's just of that time period. You're thinking of something that you just created, like an art form. And if it's and it could just be, and like the whole point of it is it should be timeless. Like it should be seen whenever in the now or whenever, like not just at that time, And there are stuff that has problems with that, yeah. Oh, well, Kurt Russell's not. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like personally who impersonate like Kurt Russell, of course, played him, as an actor, and stuff like that. I still think that's one of the best ones. And yeah, he was nominated an Emmy for that and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I'm still wondering how this Elvis movie is gonna turn out, honestly, because I don't know. I think did I hear like that it was gonna go from the beginning to the end? Like I feel like with an Elvis movie, just in my opinion, I feel like that like. A way, or if you really want to do an Elvis movie from like the early days, you really need to focus on, I think, from Sun Records to honestly the end of like his last performance in 1961 before he went fully into the movie careers and stuff like that. If you ended off there and then maybe, or if you, let's say you did like 2 chapters, like if you did like the miniseries, if you did something like that and then you wanted to go into like the 60s and the Vegas, because I could say you could probably put the 60s stuff and the Vegas stuff in the same, movie and stuff like that. But like the 50s stuff, I feel like you got to keep separately, honestly, in my opinion. I feel like from, like stuff from like 54 to 60 to 61, I feel like that's where you ended. I feel like I feel. And yeah, no, so yeah, so I mean that's what I have to say about that. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna pretty much end the stream right now here. I'm pretty sure I planning on coming back next week, and I want to keep doing this and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of more stuff or like maybe an activity that could be done and stuff like that. Oh yeah, okay. It's supposed to focus from his childhood, which is very important through until 1960. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Well, yeah, because. Well, that's funny because that's what the Kurt Russell movie did, actually. Yeah. I just hope it focused on a certain part of his life as a musician, not cramming it up, following the same formulas as Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, I mean, like the thing with Elvis, I feel like what you got to do with a biopic is like the problems I have with Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man is that there was no that much mention of the music, and I feel that's one of the most important things. Like you need to mention the music and stuff like that, and I feel like that's what's going to make a biopic work. That's what's it's going to take to make it successful. I feel, So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'll think about I'm planning to do this live stream again. Yeah, of course, I'll have some other things that we can maybe discuss and stuff like that and talk about. And I think that would definitely work. Okay, so let me read this comment. Elvis deserves a biopic that focuses on his music, that focuses on his genius. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like you need to focus on. Not a lot of people focus on that, like because people think of Elvis. It's like, oh, he's a performer. He didn't write his own songs. Well, okay, no, he didn't write his own songs, but he did produce them. I mean, he did a better job producing them than honestly Stephen Scholes. I mean, Stephen Scholes didn't really know how to produce a rock and roll record. So Elvis honestly really produced them. Yeah. So no, Elvis was that's what they really need to show and stuff like that. So yeah, so next time we talk more about the stuff, and maybe honestly next time we can talk a little bit about your like opinions of more of like rock, or like what maybe got you into rock. Maybe we'll talk more about that, and maybe I'll focus that a little bit more on that. And we'll talk about other stuff. Like in my streams, I'm going to talk about music that I'm into and stuff like that. And we'll still talk about stuff. Maybe I'll show some vinyl stuff. I am thinking that like if I do, because I know Anthony was suggesting, who came on last week, me showing some vinyl records that I have. I feel like that's better, honestly, for like a video, honestly, like an edited video. Like I feel like that might be better, honestly. But but yeah, no, I think like maybe next week, like maybe we do something where we talk about what got us into this type of music, why it stands out, and yeah. What- Yeah, no, yeah, no. I think that would definitely, yeah, no. I definitely want to do that, and maybe I'm still thinking like maybe I'll do it for a live stream. I'm thinking like it might. I mean, maybe it's good for a live stream, so we can talk a little bit more about it. Because when edited video, I don't feel like you'll be able to talk about it more. So maybe I'll show some vinyl stuff and like I have a lot of vinyl stuff I can show, so I could probably put it in, mush it into. I'll probably have ideas of what I'll do with that stuff. So yeah, yeah. I like so maybe I'll do some videos where they're actually just videos, and some where I actually do a live stream of the stuff. So yeah, all right. So that's it for today's video. I'll see you guys next time. See you guys in the next video. Bye.